I'm tatocat and welcome to my channel. Today we are playing Lucid9 Undo Path. Whatever. Previously we finished up Ari's little thing and we took the purple pill medicine whatever, and now we're playing Elizabeth's route. Right, it's the color of their hair. And we ran into Katsu. I remember did have a sprite, I just didn't really realize who he was without his police uniform. No, Tonkatsu, I'm sorry. And yeah, that's pretty much where we left off at this meeting. Let us continue. Yet, you don't seem to have a problem doing so every time you wish. Honestly, it's creepy how you don't even make a sound when you walk. A skill of our trade. Not a cop's trade. I would bloody hope. I forgot she's occasionally British. But she always tries to hide her accent, so I'm only going to become terrible accent British, whatever, when she says things like bloody and arse. Well, I can't really do it when I say that. I sit back down on the bench and a sigh briefly escapes my lips. Seriously, this man is always such a hassle. Why would he sneak up on me like that? Is it really so amusing to startle me? Not even bothering to look repentant for his actions, Katsu takes off his hat and sits by my side. Good morning. It's been a while since we last talked like this, hasn't it? You mean, good afternoon. Morning is already come and gone. Forgive me. I've been up on my feet for a while, so I wasn't sure if I'd gotten here earlier or later than the appointment time. I don't think you were humanly capable of being late to a meeting, especially when you scheduled yourself. What had you so busy anyway? One of my clients got into some trouble, so I wanted to check the scene before authorities got wind of the situation. Granted, there wasn't much I could do given my current status. This might be a long shot, but isn't it all related to that? To what was shown in the news? The news? Something about a fugitive. To be honest, I didn't pay much attention, but that infuriating anchorman. I did the wrong voice for that person. Seemed upset about it. Who knows? Always with the dodgy answers. This man. Still, mentioning the news seems to have put him in a pensive mood, since he's closed his eyes in thought. This is how he used to act whenever he was entranced with a case. Old habits die hard, huh? Ah, he caught me staring at him. Curious. Not in the slightest. It's really none of my business anyway. Well, enough of that. You didn't answer my question. What question? When was the last time we talked like this? Let me think. A month? Maybe 2? Outside of the occasional phone call to check up on me, Katsu hasn't shown himself around a lot. But I'm having a difficult time remembering. When every day blurs together, it's hard to pinpoint exactly dates and times. A month and... oh, sorry, Katsu. A month and 2 weeks. Has it? Yes. At the cafe, we decided to go for breakfast during a weekend. Fought over what type of scones to order. Blimey. Was that only a month ago? I could have sworn we had that same discussion last year. It's possible. Wouldn't be the first time you argued with me over such triviality. Oh, bugger off. We've both been busy, so excuse me if I can't remember every minute detail of our lives. I assume she gets British when she's angry. Memory does tend to get foggy with age, Elizabeth. Ah, there it is. Katsu's business-like smile is the same as mine. A half moon set in stone. Not to convey any positive feelings, but to make me think that he is. Maybe I learned it from him. I witnessed the same expression every time my dad invited him over for dinner. To think he'd still be in my life, even after all these years. Would my past self be delighted to hear it? Or simply annoyed? So, I don't think you called me here to exchange pleasantries. What did you want to discuss? How has work been treating you? Work? What does that have to do with anything? Humor me. The question strikes me as odd, to say the least. Katsu never cared much about my occupation other than whether or not it kept me afloat. I would say it's fine. A larger paycheck would certainly be welcome, but the staff works hard and no one has acted especially unpleasant recently. Do you enjoy it? Well, it's a job. That's not what I asked. Do you enjoy it, Elizabeth? Are you happy in that place? Happy? Another strange word coming from him. That settles it. Something must be going on. And the more I answer him, the more I sink into his trap. I hate it whenever you dance around the issue, Katsu. Just get to the point already. His eyes twitch for a brief moment, obviously takes off his stride by my sharp tone. Then I'll do just that. Elizabeth, how would you like to come work for me? So it was about that after all. You say that as if you knew already. Well, I wasn't expecting us to have this conversation so soon. But, please, you were bound to ask someday. So, I gather you already have an answer prepared. I take a deep breath and nod. I refuse. I expected as much. Katsu turns his whole body to face me. His deep blue eyes are intimidating. So much that I'm quick to turn away. Could you tell me why, at least? I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's a bad deal for you. Get your act together, Elizabeth. This is a conversation between two adults, so at least make an effort to act like one. Just to clarify, you want me to work under you full-time. Is that correct? Correct. Then, if you insist, but my reasons aren't anything special. As I've said, I do like my current job. The pay isn't bad, and a while ago, I got promoted to a position as floor manager. People depend on me, Katsu. I couldn't possibly leave without finding a replacement first. Half of that is truth, and half merely an excuse. Finding a replacement wouldn't be too hard, and I doubt my presence is so essential to the shop that it can't function without me. But with a straight face and a confident tone, even a cheap excuse sounds convincing. It's something I learned from him. Lastly, and don't take this the wrong way, you work at the center. The bloody center. The single time I decided to lend you a hand proved to be a miserable experience. So, I could not imagine myself working there full time. And I don't even see why you need me to, since you're clearly managing well enough by yourself. If I were there, all I'd do is hear one sob story after another. And to be absolutely fair, I don't believe I can take it. I'm not strong enough for that. The point is, I'm happy with my job. I'm happy working inside that noisy shop, and I'll stay there as long as I see fit. Understood? Katsu stays silent for a moment, contemplating my answer. If that's not enough of an answer for him, I don't know what is. Is that what you really want? Yes. Why wouldn't it be? My voice breaks a little. A steady life with a steady but meaningless job, living the day-to-day life like any other civilian. Don't you dare call it meaningless. I apologize, but you know what I mean. Being a waitress must surely be difficult, but it's also a job anybody can do. And I know that's not what you want, Elizabeth. So, you mean to tell me working at that dreary office with you is any better? It's not about the office. It's not about the job either. It's about being in a position to bring about change in Isamu, to do something better than manage coffee shop, to be free. I briefly stopped, making eye contact with him, clenching my fists in an attempt to calm myself down. I don't know what you mean. You do. You are simply too stubborn to listen. Or maybe I just don't like what you're saying. Has it ever occurred to you that maybe, just maybe, I'm not like you, nor my father? Your idea of change might be wildly different from mine. Excuses, excuses. All just a bunch of excuses. Plus, I know what this is really about. This talk about the job, about freedom, it's all just preamble. I can never say that word properly. All you want is to keep me on a leash. If I wanted to, I would have already done so. Oh, give me a bloody break. Am I wrong? No. Not in the least. Katsu Kobayashi is right. If he gave me a direct order, the thought of complaining wouldn't even cross my mind. He's asking merely to allow me some control over my actions. Katsu Kobayashi is right. He's always right. That's why he's so hard to refuse. Listen, it's not that I don't understand why you're doing this. After all, he's offering a means to take back what's mine, a key to a brighter future. But I can't forget about everything that's gone wrong until now. I just can't. I know you can't. That's why I don't understand. That alone should be a good enough reason to act. But instead, you're choosing to remain motionless in a place where you can't even make a difference. Of course that's how you think. What's that supposed to mean? It's just so like you to use every little tragedy as fuel to keep you motivated. But I'm not like that. Look at me, Katsu. I put a hand over my chest. Look at me and tell me what you see. For the first time in forever, I'm witnessing him at a loss of words. He must be having a difficult time understanding where I'm going with this. If you can't, then I will. I'm a woman. A woman in her early 20s. One who works 5 to 6 days a week. More than 8 hours at a time. After work, I'm usually so exhausted that I fall asleep right after showering. I like to spend my days off going out for a walk, maybe buying myself a nice meal along the way. I'm a civilian, just an average civilian. My chest stings with every word I say. And involving innocent civilians in something that doesn't concern them is something the police should never do. That's what Father used to say, right? An average civilian, huh? Katsu remained silent for a while, letting himself be engulfed by the calming sound of the flowing river. A small leaf from the tree above falls between us. We both raise our heads to push it away, in an unwarranted urge to clean, but we stop before the tips of our fingers can touch. He takes a look at me, one that doesn't make me as uncomfortable as before. You know, you have grown a lot since the first time I met you. Where is this coming from? Well, the fact that you're probably taller. You probably realized that in that moment. Why, yes, most people do age after 10 years, with the possible exception of a certain detective. I'm not talking about your physique. Oh, I guess not. You used to follow your father's every whim without ever thinking for yourself. I remember thinking, what a well-behaved child. But only recently did you become a true, independent adult. Blimey, aren't you being honest anymore? And I'll fear for my life. If man, Katsu, if you are making this choice or of your own accord, thinking only of your own wishes, then so be it. Katsu stands up from the bench. But if you're only being complacent, then I urge you to give my proposition another thought. His words shouldn't hurt at all, but it feels like he's just stabbed tiny needles into my every vein of my body. Quick, think of something scathing, anything to turn the tables on him. Aren't you just a sweetheart? Nailed it. Oh, it has got to burn. Weak. Such a weak response, Elizabeth. Yet, somehow, elicits a chuckle from the normally stoic Katsu. I try. Hey, what are you... Too late. He's already ruffling my hair with his sweaty hand. Ew. Hey, bugger off. You have grown in some ways, but remain the same in others. I'm telling you, stop. Right this instant. Stop. Stop treating me like a little girl. This is so infuriating. It's the same teasing from 10 years ago, and it hasn't gotten the least bit more tolerable since. Yet, something about this is also awfully horribly nostalgic. So, I will stand it and withstand it. Well, until it becomes so unbearable that I can't help but swat his hand away. Enough is enough. Yes, I agree. Besides, I have business to attend. It's probably pointless to ask again, but is it at all related to what I saw on the news? You know what, Elizabeth? If you're so curious, why don't you join him? And is it maybe too much for you to handle on your own? It explained why he decided to schedule this conversation so out of the blue. Elizabeth, weren't you supposed to be just an average civilian? And weren't you supposed to be one as well? Katsu looks away for a second, as if in deep thought. That past long been lost to me. Katsu reaches out and grabs his hat, which he left by my side. Take care, Elizabeth. We'll be in touch. Yes, you be careful too. Don't be reckless. And when have I? Alone again? It's almost disappointing. Disappointing? Did I want him to convince me? To take me back under his wing? Sometimes it feels like the person I have the most trouble understanding is myself. It isn't like I cannot see why he'd invite me. In fact, his logic is fairly clear, and only a fool would reject his proposition. So what's stopping me? If I wish for something to change, then I must change it with my own two hands. No matter how difficult, as long as I work hard for it, I'll attain it. I must attain it. That's what I believed for the majority of my life. So why is it that I'm now frozen in place, unable to take that single step forward? Why? If I need to go for a walk, I need to go for a walk. My father always used to say that a good person needs to be fair. Even if you meet someone with ideals that oppose your own, a good person must make an effort to understand their point of view. Not assimilate, not accept, merely understand. If you're able to look beyond your own biases, then you're fair, and thus good. But, Father, how can I remain fair when the world is like this? Everywhere around me are signs, advertisements, and screens constantly promoting new ways to decide the course of my life. Well, we'll see what conclusion Elizabeth comes with up with in the next episode. I am tatocat. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe. Have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon.